Hi everyone, I'm Vimday, and oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Version 2.3 has been out for a few days, and now that we have a better idea of what to expect in the coming months, let's discuss and rank our options. First up is Dialyn, who is going to be our first S-rank physical stun agent in Zenless. I'm kidding. The last two stun agents have been off-field, so I'm thinking that Dialyn will deviate from this playstyle by being an on-field stun agent. Now, whether she'll work with attack agents, or just rupture agents, we have no idea. I know we need more rupture stun agents, but I'm hoping she'll be an on-field stun agent for the attack class. This would be great for F2P, especially those who like using these agents. Or even better, she could be utilized by both classes by providing universal buffs. Based on Dialyn's attribute type, and the fact that we only have 3 physical attack agents, I think her kit will be universal. I don't think we have enough physical agents for her to be a niche option. It's also possible that Dialyn could be an agent that's meant to complement the upcoming Void Hunter. Yanagi, who is a great sub-DPS for Miyabi, was initially released during the first half of version 1.3, before the release of Miyabi in the following version. I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing something similar with Dialyn and the next Void Hunter. Based on the limited information that's out, it's difficult to provide a proper rating. I don't think she'll be a niche physical option unless the next Void Hunter is physical, and as of now, the physical roster for attack and rupture agents is a ghost town. I'm going to place her here, assuming she'll be a universal stun agent. Next we have Banyue, who is an S-rank fire rupture agent from the Krampus faction. Rest in peace Monato. Or maybe it should be the other way around, because I find it odd that they're already releasing another fire rupture agent. Those who plan to pull for Lucia will most likely get copies of Monato along the way. And if a player has M6 Monato, is there really any reason for them to get another fire rupture agent this soon? Honestly, he has a great design, I just wish they would have used a different element for him. If you already have Pan and an M6 Pulchra built on your account, and you're comfortable using them, then this would be a great free-to-play team. Otherwise, Banyue's team comps start to get expensive due to the scarcity of rupture supporting agents. We're getting around 110 polychromes during 2.3, and possibly around the same amount in 2.4. If you're free to play, then it might be possible to pull Lucia and Banyue, but this is assuming that you're guaranteed Lucia, and happen to win your Banyue 50-50. However, you do have other options. If you already have Ju Fufu, an M6 Pulchra, Pan, or Colada, then you could easily form a team with these agents. And if you happen to have Orphe and Lighter, then this could possibly work as well. Once again, it's difficult to provide a realistic rating. However, I'm going to place Banyue here for now. We're guaranteed a copy of Monato in an upcoming event, and if you're pulling for Lucia, you'll hopefully get additional copies of Monato along the way. And the polychromes saved could go towards a more versatile agent, such as Ju Fufu for Monato, or another supporting agent. First, we have to talk about Lucia, who recently received a slight change to her design. Personally, I hate it. Although the changes are small, I think they made a mistake by altering the details that made this character unique. But after seeing the September gacha revenue report for Zenless, I think I understand why they made these changes. However, if you like the new design, then I'm happy for you, and I hope you win your 50-50. Overall, I think she's going to enhance Yuxuan teams, and will be a great support for future rupture agents. I guess you could pull her for your attack agents if you don't have Astra, as they'll benefit from the following buffs. But, if you really want a dedicated support agent for that class, then I would just wait. However, if you're planning to fill out the rupture roster, then you should consider Lucia. Because as of now, we only have Pan, who is great by the way, but we can't use him on multiple rupture teams at once. Anyway, she's going here. Let me explain. A handful of people are rolling on this banner not only for Lucia, but also to get M6 Monato. You could spend all of your polychromes and end up with M12 Piper without receiving a single copy of Monato. I imagine this will be the reality for a lot of players, which may lead to buyer's remorse. Also, Yuxuan is already strong without Lucia, and if you don't plan to get Yidhari or Banyue, and have no desire to use M0 Monato, what's the purpose of getting Lucia now? Pulling Lucia just to reserve her for a future rupture agent that hasn't been announced isn't the best use of your polychromes. Yes, she's an S-rank support unit, and based on her abilities, she belongs here, but I think some players will regret pulling if they expect to get M6 Monato. I was going to save these for Dialyn, but I think proving a point is more important. Let me show you how difficult it is to get an M6 A-rank agent. Anyway, she's going here. If you're a fan of anomaly agents and enjoy playing around disorder, then Vivian is a great agent to pick up. She's similar to Bernice, as most of her damage is activated while she's off-field, making her a great secondary DPS for disorder teams. She's also very easy to build since she has her own drive disk set. I imagine the next few versions will primarily focus on rupture agents to fill out the roster. And with Bernice out of the picture for the time being, this might be our last off-field anomaly agent for a while. However, this character is not mandatory for anomaly teams. You can run Yanagi and Jane Doe on their own mono-attribute teams and do just fine in endgame content. And although Vivian provides more damage than Bernice, she's slightly less passive in terms of gameplay. You have to be mindful of Vivian's point conversion mechanic, which isn't difficult for most players, but it is another resource to keep track of. As for Vivian's W engine, it provides a nice boost to anomaly proficiency and has an unconditional anomaly mastery bonus, which is great. Since Vivian's engine is only around 15% better than a maxed out Weeping Gemini, I would skip her engine, unless you're a fan of this agent and want her hair to glow. Her W engine has one of the best effects in the game, so if you want the engine just for aesthetics, then go for it. Anyway, I'm placing Vivian here. Next we have. Sorry, I'm still mourning the loss of Yidhari's previous design. I just don't understand how we went from this to this. Why does it look like everyone shops at the same clothing store? If you enjoy playing characters that are always on the brink of death, then this might be a great DPS for you. This character is kind of a blessing and a curse for those who can't dodge. On one hand, if you hate dodging, you can just stand there and counter incoming attacks while charging her basic attack. On the other hand, you're still taking damage, as the counterattack only negates a portion of the damage received. And since charging her basic attack consumes HP to deal damage, you're constantly on life support. This isn't a bad banner, especially if you're F2P. If you don't plan to use Lucia or Ju Fufu, then you can easily build a rupture team with the agents from Yidhari's banner. Her kit looks fun, but her attribute type concerns me. Deadly Assault has been rough for ice attribute agents these last several cycles, and I'm worried that Yidhari will face the same fate as Hugo and Ellen once 2.3 ends. I'm hopeful that ice agents will get a break after the next Void Hunter releases, but we'll see what happens. And finally we have Ju Fufu. What's great about this agent is that her playstyle is very straightforward, and she doesn't require a lot of field time. Unless you want her to, there's a skill for that. Ju Fufu's gimmick is that she grants several team-wide buffs whenever her aftershock attack hits an enemy. These buffs are very universal, and with her flexible additional ability requirement, she can be used in various team comps. Have a rupture agent that needs a stun agent? Use Ju Fufu. Running double stun comp? Add Ju Fufu. Want an all-cat team? Ju Fufu. Ju Fufu is very easy to build and doesn't necessarily need her signature engine. Just throw a bunch of attack and crit rate stats at her, and you're good to go. My only concern is the timing of this rerun. Ju Fufu was initially released less than 4 months ago, which seems early for a rerun. I think we're about due for a new stun agent, and if we get one that can boost sheer force, then she might be cooked. As for her signature engine, you don't need this. The extra attack will make it easier to build Ju Fufu, but I don't think it's worth pulling, especially if you're F2P. Ju Fufu is going here on the tier list. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments below what your plans are for version 2.3. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching.